Welcome to the new world of carbon neutrality. A world where we must submit our purchase to the authorities and where my credit card is recording my carbon footprint on every item purchased. I don't own a car, but I have a certain gas limit that I can use with a rental car. If I want to travel more, I will have to buy the limit of those who cannot afford it. Meat? I don't know what it is anymore. Now the diet is based on insect, since it limits carbon emission and help with climate change. I don't own anything, no house or car, and when my carbon footprint limit is reached, my credit card gets blocked. But we are happy anyway. Does this sound crazy to you? But this is what might happen in the long run. The various changes in many areas have already begun. Cars will slowly be replaced by electric cars. Farmers will have to modify the way they produce food. The point of entry and exit of the country will be monitored. Thanks to the digital identity, and the banks will track your carbon footprint on your daily purchase, telling you where you can spend your money. Are we still free? Here is the question that really needs to be asked. With small-scale reset happening all around the world, when will the big reset happen? Society has trained us to be over-consumer, to always want more and always want something new. An education that is not innate but acquired with the influence of media, social environment, and our culture. Today, the government and the elite of this world want to reduce your accessibilities for the sake of climate change, but it's not them who have created in some way this impulse of acquisition. Is it not also the reason why the big bank of this world have created credit card? I let you notice that in developing countries, credit is not common. People spend what they are able to buy. Banks now wants to control how you spend in the near future. Several banks are already posting on their website what they have done so far to help climate change and what they plan to do as well. Two organizations, the Network of Central Bank and Supervisor for Greening the Financial System, NGFS, an expanding group of central bank and supervisor, and the Task Force of Climate-Related Financial Disclosure, a body created by the G20 Financial Stability Board, are working with financial institutions to modify financial action to achieve a greener economy. Here is what the goal of TCFD is. Through widespread adoption, financial risk and opportunities related to climate change will become a natural part of company risk management and strategic planning process. At this occur, companies and investors understanding of the potential financial implication associated with transitioning to a lower carbon economy and climate-related physical risk will grow. Information will become more decision useful, and risk and opportunities will be more accurately priced, allowing for the more efficient allocation of capital. What does that mean? They will now be able to decide to whom they will allow loan in relation to their achievement for the planet, letting other companies who are not considered green by the banks and government out without efficient help to survive. And how will company will prove their allegiance to the green economy? Will they be by letting the bank track us through them? Most bank and financial institutions are affiliated with or support both organizations such as CIBC, Bank of Canada, Caisse de dépôt et placement du Québec, BMO, Financial Group, Desjardins Group, National Bank of Canada, and way more. We talk here about 3,400 supporters in 95 jurisdictions, and you will not be surprised to see that most underdeveloped countries are not involved here. Here is an excerpt from an article promoted by the World Economic Forum about them. How central banks are tackling climate change risk. It is mentioned that, first, a number of central banks are now explicitly communicating the need to improve and harmonize climate risk pricing technique and ensure transparency of climate risk in financial asset and balance sheet. Standardizing and mandating climate-related disclosure could provide a major impetus for improving the pricing of climate risk. It looks more and more like a process of tracking and monitoring your personal finance. They say they want to oversee and be transparent in the disclosure of carbon impact on climate change, but it is not yet a control tool. Add to this the digital identity linked to it. It will only bring Canadians closer to a social credit. No? If I told you that these expense tracking methodology would become reality in the near future, would you believe me? Don't forget that not so long ago, digital identity and carbon footprint were part of conspiracy theories, and now it's reality. In Scandinavia, digital identity has been common practice for many years. In Norway, it is more or less necessary to have it to live your life. Sweden, for its part, has developed a MasterCard called Doconomy that allows to trace the carbon footprint related to the production of CO2 of each item purchased. So far, this credit card is a voluntary basis, but until when? See what the World Economic Forum has quoted on their main page and what they are also promoting on their forum.
In 2018, Doconomy, a Swedish fintech, took on the challenge and launched Do, a mobile banking service for everyday climate action. The Do app is connected to a credit card that enables users to track and measure their carbon footprint from each purchase and to compensate for its impact day by day. This spring, Doconomy took its fight against climate change one step further by adding a premium credit card to its offer. But instead of introducing a premium credit card with the typical benefits that encourages further mass consumption, Doconomy did the opposite by launching Do Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit. Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending. Not based on your available funds, but rather on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption.
Even political commentator Eva Vladingerbroek mentioned in an interview that the CEO of one of the largest Dutch banks mentioned the possibility of a carbon credit wallet.
Yesterday in the Dutch media, we saw a perfect example of what it could entail in the near future. We had the CEO of one of the largest Dutch banks say, why don't we start with a personal carbon credit?
Oh.
A carbon wallet, she called it actually.
Yeah.
So right in line with the plans that the World Economic Forum people have for us. And she said it in a way that was particularly funny. She said, well, if everyone gets an individual personal carbon credit, why don't we make it so that rich people who, for example, want to go on holiday a little too often can buy personal carbon credit from other people who, for example, can't afford buying plane tickets or eating meat too often. So we can that way swap it out.
So here we have another conspiracy theory that seems to be occurring in our society as a normalization in the face of the fight against climate change. What they have in common in this 2030 agenda where net zero is the ultimate goal to reach. But what is the meaning of this famous net zero plan? Depending on its definition, the impact will be automatically linked to it. If you see any changes with your banking institution or other anomalies, please share the information with me via email at alexandra@ribennews.com or at tips@ribennews.com. We need to stop all the big corporations and the government from dictating our life and especially your hard-earned money. A bank is supposed to keep your financial assets safe, and under no circumstances should it interfere with your spending and especially not record and track you. I hope you enjoy. Was Alexa for Riben News. As you know, at Riben News, we want to expose the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset. And our team is working hard to create the new docuseries with many different episodes. So if you want to see all of it, you can do so at exposethereset.com. And as well, you can chip in to help them to continue to expose the World Economic Forum because it's really important that will change our future.